Okay, so for my cultural exploration experience assignment, I actually did this on somewhere I went today. Today I accompanied a good friend from elementary school to the Waukesha County Courthouse. I live in Milwaukee. I've always lived in Milwaukee aside from college where I lived in Kenosha. My friend was going for a custody hearing. She had to go for family court and she asked me to go for support. My friend is white and I'm obviously black, so it was a little bit different. Obviously, going from the Milwaukee County Courthouse, if you go there, Waukesha County Courthouse is very different. It was predominantly white, a lot of older people in the setting. When we walked in, we had to put everything in and get checked to go through the metal detectors. Maybe I was just being a little, I don't want to be overzealous in saying they were more friendly to her, but that's what it felt like in a way. The courthouse, ironically, is older still, but it still looks a lot newer than the Milwaukee County Courthouse. It was very well kept. I noticed that there were like groups of ladies walking through the hallways of the courthouse, almost as if they were catching their steps and things like that for the day. The people officiating amongst the in the building were either very old or older in a way, or on the younger side. So that was kind of interesting to see. It was really no in between from what I noticed. Let's see. I want to make sure I cover all bases. I did not expect to go into the courtroom. So we had to wait outside in the hallway before they let anyone in, to be heard at the courthouse. So when we're sitting outside, at the benches before they let everyone in, I'm just sitting with her. And so I would be sitting in as a spectator, basically. So once we were able to walk in, and we sat down, the bailiff told us to give our names. And he kept pointing to me you need to give your name. And I was like, no, I'm just here with my friend. And it was almost an assumption that she was my counsel and I was here for court. So that made me feel a little different. It wasn't blatant stares, but it was definitely a look I wonder what she's here for. It's a courthouse. So you have criminal court, civil court, judgments, all that stuff. So that was a little weird. But what's probably the most disheartening is that I go into situations expecting that. If it's outside of my cultural norm, I know that that's something that is to be expected, which it shouldn't be, but it is. Lastly, as far as the connections that I can make to multicultural education, I believe that it's important to let children of color or just even white children, they need to know and understand that there are differences and those differences are okay. Those differences don't necessarily make any one person or any group bad or better than another. And I think that I would always find ways to point out those differences in each of us individually and then culturally, because I think that's really, really important to understand how one person may feel as opposed to another. What are the implications for me as a future teacher? Knowledge, skills, dispositions of all students. I am a person in general that I don't like to judge anyone, period. So when it comes to family members, friends, or whatever, I don't give a biased opinion. I don't judge what decisions they make. So I look at the world the same way. And I think that what's really important for me to know is that just because I feel that way and I may teach my daughter that way, other students may not be taught that way. Other parents don't teach their kids that way. Other adults that I have to be around don't think that way. That also is okay. I cannot control their positions, but what I do feel like I can do is I have the power within myself to know how to duck and dodge those things without ignoring them, but also without making them like a big issue. I feel like you can conquer something by not ignoring it, not making it a bigger issue than what it is, and just really being real with what is happening. Today was a awkward experience. I won't say it was negative. It wasn't, like we were there for something great. The outcome was great, but I don't really like Waukesha, so I don't really have a reason to go there. Haven't really had great experiences there, but I was supporting a friend, and it felt good to be there for her, but that's not a situation I would have ever put myself in. Hope I answered all the questions.